Hi, my name is Ed Goad, and in this video we're going to talk about how inside of Packet Tracer we can add modules to our Cisco routers. Now in the physical world, when you buy a Cisco router, it comes with a few ports on it. However, that it may not necessarily be the ports you need on it. For instance, we may need a serial port or a telephone port or some other specific type of adapter on our routers, and so we need to purchase a module to install onto the router. We can do this in Packet Tracer, and there's a few very simple steps we do in order to handle that. I'm going to use this sample network right here. We have two routers and two networks. Network A and Network B are directly connected to the routers via an Ethernet connection. Most routers come with an Ethernet connection, so that's not a problem. However, between the two routers, they are connected via a serial WAN link, and that may be a module that we need to purchase and add to our routers. Let's see how we do that in Packet Tracer. Here I've gone ahead and built out the network with our clouds and our routers. When I click on router 0 here, we can see the physical device view. If I zoom in, we get a slightly better view, and we can see, yes, there are in fact Ethernet interfaces. There are some aux and console ports here on the front, and then there's slots for additional modules to be installed. On the left-hand side here, we can see the modules that are available to it. There's an NIM2T. When I click on that, it gives me a description down here. It tells me it's a 2-port multi-synchronous serial adapter, and I can even see a visual description of what it would be down here. I can click on the other modules. For instance, I can see that there's a cover that's just a cover plate. I can see the ES4, which says it is 4 switching ports. The GE100FX, which tells me it's a SFP module for gigabit ports. The LHSMD, which tells me it's a SFP again for gigabit ports. Another SFP, and then another adapter, this time for twisted pair copper. For this specific configuration, we are interested in a serial connection, and if I go back up, that is the 2T right here. At this point, I can just simply click and drag into one of these two slots. The last slot is the wrong size, therefore I can't put it in there. However, when I drop it into this slot, we get a message saying that we can't add a module while it's powered on. And just like in the physical world, this is probably a good thing that we want to turn off our router before we install physical modules to it. So in that case, on the front of the router here, I have a power switch. I'm going to click that, and we'll see that the light went out. And now I can go ahead and add the 2T module. If we look very closely down here, it actually says NIM1, and then the slot is NIM2. It does make a difference when you install them with regards to the naming of the modules inside the router. Now that that's installed, I'll go ahead and turn that on, and then I will close router 0. And now when I hover over it, I will see I now have serial interface 010 and serial interface 011 that is added to my list. I'm going to do the same thing on router 1. I'm going to grab the module, and in this case, let me turn it off, excuse me. In this case, I will actually install it into NIM2 and then turn the router on. And then when I hover over it, we'll see that the serial interface in this case is NIM2. Serial 020 and 021. So the slot helps identify the number of the serial interfaces. At this point, I can begin using those interfaces, so I can use my serial DCE or DTE cables. On the one router, I choose, in this case, I'll choose serial 010, and then on the other router, I will choose 020. And now I can go into the router configuration and IP the interfaces, as well as configuring any other options that might be needed for it. There you have it, a brief overview of how to add modules into a Cisco router inside a packet tracer.